Raw 4 TV. What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw 4 TV, aka Darth Apocalypse. All right, so before I get into this video, I want to give a shout out to a couple of subscribers for showing love. Shout out to the brother Kendrick for the $10 donation via the Cash App. Salute to you for showing love. Once again, I want to give a shout out to the brother Eric Levin for the $20 donation via the Cash App. And I want to give a shout out to the brother Aram for the $5 donation via the PayPal. He says your new recent Will Chamberlain vid is dope as fuck, Mike. I'm glad you like that one, man. You know, when you saw these guys complain about playing back-to-backs, and you know, when you saw that in those times they had multiple back-to-back games, and not just back-to-back games, but they had back-to-back-to-back games. And in many instances, they would play even 4 games in a row. You know what I'm saying? So those guys were extremely well conditioned and playing 40 minutes a night plus. They didn't have the convenience of, you know, personal flights. And so all I hear is excuses from these guys. Oh, you guys don't understand, you know, things are different. Yeah, you guys are soft. That's what the difference about it is. Compared to these other players, you guys are soft. But I want to talk about the Luka Doncic trade, right? I still remember when the trade went down. I think it was in February of 2025, right? And when the trade went down, I believe it was around midnight when the news broke, or close to midnight. And I remember correctly, it was the brother 78 Sports TV that told me about it. I think he was going live, talking about probably something boxing related. And, you know, I was chilling, probably get ready to, you know, call it a night. And I got a call from him because I guess people were talking about it in his live stream. And he said, hey, man, did Luka Doncic get traded? I said, huh? Traded to who? The Lakers. I said, the Lakers. So I go on X and I see Sham talking about it, right? And I'm so stunned that I'm thinking, like a lot of people thinking, this is so unbelievable and such an improbable trade. I'm thinking, did Shams get hacked? I said, no. Shams must have got hacked. Because there's no way that the Los Angeles Lakers acquired Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis. Now, see, it'd be one thing if this was the Anthony Davis of 2018, 2019. Okay, that's a different ballgame. But we're talking about the same Anthony Davis that stays hurt on the wrong side of 30 and probably just going to be downhill from here for a generational talent in their prime like Luka Doncic. It never made any sense. And the excuses that they gave, oh, well, we're concerned about his conditioning. We were concerned about, you know, his lack of defense. Now, mind you, this all came just mere months after the Mavericks went to the NBA Finals. Does that make any sense whatsoever? It made no sense. So a lot of people think that there's a bigger picture here. There's more to this than what we think. And, you know, there are various conspiracy theories out there. One of them, I think, really has a lot of legs. Okay. And The one conspiracy theory that I think makes sense, well, actually, it's a couple of things that make sense. The one that most of us think about is the money factor. Look, the Los Angeles Lakers are one of the prestigious franchises in NBA history, along with the Boston Celtics, right? And it's the NBA's most, as we can just see with the recent sale, it's the league's most valuable franchise, right? Um, the NBA realized and recognized that the Los Angeles Lakers is a franchise that's going to always need some superstar on their roster. Because we all saw what happened to the Los Angeles Lakers when Kobe Bryant retired. Not only did they fall off as far as success on the court, but fan interest started waning. And one of the things you cannot have is the marquee franchise of the NBA becoming irrelevant, both when it comes to uh, wins and also fan interest. So some people think that's one of the reasons why the league pushed LeBron James to go to the Lakers. But now we all know, look, LeBron is over 40. At the time, he was over 40. And they got to look to the future. So the NBA was thinking probably to themselves, look, we need a star that's going to be the face of this franchise for the next decade or so. We got Luka Doncic, 25 years old, right? Let's trade him to the Los Angeles Lakers. We can just make up some bullshit excuse, right, as to why you're trading him. And, you know what I'm saying? Voila. Also, another thing that doesn't make sense about the whole situation is why would the Dallas Mavericks only be dialoguing with the Lakers? That part never made any sense. So it's other better trade packages out there, but you choose to only dialogue with the Lakers. It made no sense. Then that fake ass picture of then general manager Nico Harrison and Rob Pelinka dialoguing with each other, it's supposed to be by themselves, but somehow somebody took a picture of it. Man, get the fuck up out of here, man. You think I'm stupid? Right. So I think that was part of it, absolutely. Look, ratings were down, and the NBA had these huge TV deals they have to live up to. So yeah, they needed to make a move a seismic move that brought excitement back to the league. But I think there's a bigger reason why Luka Doncic was traded. And if you're a Dallas Maverick fan, this gonna piss you off. A lot of people believe that the new ownership of the Dallas Mavericks, while they're not really truly, I'm not saying that they don't like basketball, but a lot of people say that the passion of the new ownership is gambling and casinos. And right now, in Texas, gambling is not legal. Right? So the Adelson and the Dumont families, they own the Dallas Mavericks. But the Adelsons also run the Las Vegas Sands Corporation, which is the main or one of the main entities that control casinos in Las Vegas. That's their bread and butter. That's their passion. Many people theorize that they want the Dallas Mavericks to tank, which is why they're trading away all of their talent. True, the NBA, as I predicted they would, a Opie for an Opie, You got rid of Luka Doncic, but it gave you Cooper Flag, a potential star. So what I think is going to happen is this. I think Cooper Flag is going to have many, many years where he's putting up big numbers on poor teams, right? Now, because of a certain winning complexion that he has, he's not going to really be criticized, like a Nikola Jokic. They're going to criticize the organization. Well, what do you expect? You don't got a team around him. Ninjas only like the critique of the ninjas. With Zion, man, he big, fat, lazy nigga, man. He can't win. Can't win the game. But when you have that winning complexion, niggas don't have the same smoke. They just don't. I'm just sorry they don't. It'll be like, well, what do you expect from Cooper, man? He can't do everything himself, man. He's doing everything he can, man. He's a knight in shining armor. He's their white knight in shining armor. All them lazy jigs around him, they ain't doing nothing. But anyway, let me get serious for a second. Some of the people think that if this team tanks enough, right, it could justify if things get bad enough, because they've been trying to, through their political connections, trying to get gambling legalized in Texas, right? But it hasn't come to pass. So some people think that if this team tanks long enough, it would justify a relocation to Las Vegas. That Dallas could be relocated to Las Vegas, where, of course, gambling is legal. And, of course, that's their base anyway. And before you say that's ridiculous, remember, the Seattle Supersonics used to be one of the most popular franchises in the NBA. But by the mid-2000s, fall off from team success and a steep decline in fan attendance, which made them economically a disaster for the NBA. That justified them moving to OKC just a couple years later. So it can happen. That's what some people think is going on right now, that the ownership, i.e. the leadership of the Dallas Mavericks, is intentionally taking that franchise. I don't know. Is that also why Jalen Brunson was allowed to walk and go to the New York Knicks so easily? I mean, because we saw when Luka was hurt a couple years ago in the playoffs and Jalen Brunson was balling. We clearly saw that, hey, man, this guy is a diamond in the rough. We saw that. So when Dallas let him walk so easily, I'm like, the hell with Stephen A. Smith and his crazy ass shenanigans. We knew that Jalen Brunson was the goods. Anybody that really watched the games and won't just playing, solitaire on their phone. So I don't know, man. There's a lot of strange things going on when it comes to the NBA. A lot of strange things. But you tell me what you think.